Hello and a really warm welcome to another episode of Living Life from Love. And today I'm talking about feeling alone. Do you know that feeling? Do you get that sometimes when a certain situation happens? And I've got two examples I'm going to share with you. And then it's so something happens in your circle of friends or with your loved one, and then you feel triggered and the aloneness comes along. So one example is my client had an experience where she had a phone call with her boyfriend and a friend of his, and this friend was asking her a funny question that she didn't understand and she couldn't answer on the spot, and if she felt really strange. And then when the phone call was over, she felt uncomfortable because she was on the spot, and it also kind of felt like those two were ganging up on her, asking her an awkward question that she can't answer there and then, and that made her feel like not being part of the gang. So she felt excluded, and that then triggered the feeling of, oh, I'm all alone now. So she couldn't even talk to her boyfriend because he was in the gang, right? And so this reaction is a typical reaction that comes from our reptilian brain. So it's like a leftover of the old, Stone Age time when we were fearful, highly fearful of being excluded, because that would usually mean death. So everybody would try really, really hard, even on their lives, to not be excluded. And so it's, of course, a fear response, right? It's a fear response to feel that so the brain is telling you, do something, right? This is dangerous to feel alone. Okay, so that's something to understand where it's coming from. So it's always coming from fear. Okay, and also I want to say just hi, if you're new, if you've not watched any of my episodes, I'm Cummins, and I'm all about helping you to move away from fear-based thinking and beliefs that is usually coming from the ego mind, and move back into your heart and actually deal with the situations, the emotions that you're feeling from love. And hence the channel is called Living Life from Love. And I always want to show you to really increase your self-love, to up-level your self-worth, and to rise your vibration, to feel better, on a daily basis. So, and if that's what you are looking for, and if you are actually at the moment looking for a soulmate, looking for a new relationship, or you want to improve any of the relationships that you're having, the first must-do step is always to increase your self-love. And with that, you're feeling a lot better straight away, and the triggering that normally happens is not happening anymore. Okay, so let's come back to that example of my friend feeling alone now. So she's had the trigger, and she doesn't want to talk to anybody. She wants to just, go to bed early, and yeah, she's already aware and she can deal with it. And so what she's doing and what she's already learned is that the trigger comes from the outside person. It is not really got anything to do with her. It is something that triggered her, yes, and that shows her, okay, there's something I need to look at. So the sooner you can let go of the people outside of you that have caused the trigger, the better. So you can just say even, thank you, okay, you're showing me that there is something within me that is unresolved. So now you're becoming more present. And doing this is 50% there. And a lot of people, majority of people, don't even do that. They keep on hanging, on the outside and blaming they shouldn't have done that. That was really stupid of them to say that. That was unkind. That was this, and so on. So if you come back to yourself now and you become present to your emotion, just feel it, and really wanting to feel it and wanting to meet the emotion and finding out who's actually feeling that. So ask yourself, who is feeling that? Who's feeling that loneliness? and you might get immediately like a scene from your childhood, or maybe several even, because you had it quite a lot. Maybe you had a similar experience, and in my client's case, she actually did. She had her mum and her sister ganging up on her. And that is a big wound in her. She felt completely alone when she was just 4 or 5, and she felt unloved, right? And that is a massive pain in our psyche. And if it never gets resolved, and if it never gets made better, you know, like the mum never said anything about it, or the sister wouldn't make up to it, because now she's not even talking to it. Her mum died, and her sister is not talking to her at all. So she is still alone, because that emotion is not resolved. And you know what? I've just heard a video, and somebody said there that feeling alone often, and or for longer stretches, like say the whole day, is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes for the body. It's a very low vibration for the body, and it is something that's very, very important to tackle, because if you don't, you are very likely to go spiraling downwards into a depression. Just because you were not looking deeper and you were not asking, how come I feel this way? Who in me is feeling like that? And you were not owning your emotion. So it is a matter of coming out of the ego very often, because the ego is not willing to go deeper. The ego wants to say, no, it's so-and-so's fault. It's them doing it. If only I didn't have that upbringing, I would be fine. And it keeps on telling the same old story. That's what the ego wants to do. It wants to keep you captivated in that pain even. It wants to keep you imprisoned in that box that keeps on telling you the same old stories. And it keeps on separating you, because the ego itself is identified with being separate. And that's why it needs the love, the acceptance, the inclusion, the praise, and all and everything. It needs everything from other people outside of itself. It hasn't got the ability or the capability of feeling love for itself, because it sees itself as a separate unit. It is identified with the body, and the body is like a separate unit, right? And so it's very separate from the people next to me. And when the ego is very strong and you're very identified with the ego, you will take things very personally, and you'd have quite a lot of need, and you would react a lot from fear-based thinking, which is, it's a stage where you're at in your evolution, and you're starting off with becoming more aware of, hey, I don't have to take this personally. Hey, it's not meant to hurt me. It's not done on purpose. So these are the first beginnings, of moving away from the ego. But if you're already aware of the ego, and you know not to take things personally, and you've learned that it's your emotion, then you are kind of in the middle of the journey, and you are able to now empower yourself. And this is the next step, to really empower yourself every time you feel alone again. Every time that trigger comes along, go deeper, feel the feeling, ask, who's feeling like that? And you might meet that 5-year-old or the 4-year-old or the 3-year-old. And then it's really important to talk to her, to let her speak whatever she wanted to say at that time. Maybe she was really angry with your loved ones. Maybe she wants to shout at them or tell them names even. That's okay, she can do that. Let her do that. Or she wants to tell you your pain, her pain, how hurt she was by that. Let her do that. Be the listener and let her really empty herself. And then when she feels she's been hurt, she's been seen, she's emptied herself, and just embrace her. You can embrace her or send love to her from your heart, and then embrace her and actually pull her into your heart. And then just that exercise is very, very powerful, because then she's not on her own anymore, outside there in the past somewhere, nobody noticing her. Now you've given her all your attention, and now she's back in your heart, and she can get your love in your heart. She has got connection and access to your love. And then it would be good to every so often check in with her, and maybe another situation comes along where she might feel a little bit like that, but it will be better, you know, because it's usually a peeling of the onions, you know, like one layer is gone, the really bad pain is gone, and then it's a little less, and then it's still a little bit there, and then there's a tiny little bit there. So keep on working with her, keep on listening to her, keep on being with her like she's your own child. And that would bring more love to you, because what you need to do is to fill your own heart, to fill your own self with your own love. When you're believing you're not loved, or you're shut out, you are not wanted, that belief cuts you off your own supply of love. And that's why you feel unloved. So it's very important to uncreate those beliefs, and to uncreate that barrier, like what the child is feeling. The child is feeling unloved. There's no love available to her. So she needs to get that supply of love. And by getting that, she will also let go of the belief that she's not loved, because now she's got it, right? And now you're opening up the new supply, or the supply was always there, but the connection is gone, the disconnection is gone, that you created as a child. Unknowingly, of course, you know. So doing these steps are very powerful, and they are helping you to fill yourself with your own love. And then it's also really, really good you can put your hands on your heart and say, I love you. Whenever you're feeling a little low, and you're a little alone, and nobody's around, and instead of going and, you know, running out and finding someone to talk to, or being with someone, fill yourself with your own love. Because if you're not doing that, you keep being needy. And nobody wants to be in a relationship with somebody who's being needy. You might have a really good going, you know, everything might be really well in the relationship, and you've been going out and dating and going out, and then the guy leaves you. Because nobody can endure that neediness. It's not nice for nobody. And it's not nice for you either. So if you want to have a fulfilling relationship, you've got to fill yourself with your own love first. And then, once you've done that, and once you don't feel needy anymore, and you're spending time with friends instead, and you're spending time with yourself, you're giving yourself what you love, and you're doing those things that give you happiness or joy, and you feel, I'm content by myself now, then it's time to look for the relationship. Okay, I hope this helped you. And if you are wanting help, you know, if you want to have one-to-one work with me, you can look out underneath the video. There will be some links. You can book yourself a free heart-to-heart conversation with me, where we find out where are you at, and what's actually really holding you back, and where you want to be, and how I can help you, if we are a good fit. Okay, so let me know if this helped you by giving me a like. If you want to have more tips on how to prepare yourself for a loving, fulfilling relationship, hit the subscribe button. And if you have any questions, please let me know them. Put them in the comments, because I want to talk with you. I want this to be a relationship between us, so I can really help you. Okay, bye for now. Take care of yourself.